Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Welcome to episode 91 of the Fly Route Podcast. I'm Anthony, aka Tony Playboy, aka Primo Exposure, aka Shaq's Free Throw Form, and I'm here with the guys. Y'all got any AKAs for yourself?
Man, you know, aka Twig Street Baby, aka Mac and Cheese, no coordinator needed. That's what we rocking with all season.
Hey, it's Cliff, aka the Glove. I don't got no more AK. I don't got no more AKs this week. I'm gonna let Ant ride this week.
Look, I wasn't even mad.
Let it ride. That's the AKA. Let it ride.
Sam, aka shout out to an actually fun NFL trade deadline for once. That's not really an AKA, but it is my moniker for this episode, I guess.
Was lit.
AKA Keith, had to put that Tampa pack in the air last week. And then some folks about to pay for school. So we live tonight, but we turned up. For sure.
All right, y'all. We got a lot happened. T.O. is going to bring us in with the news and catch everybody up for anything that was missed.
Man, listen, just go ahead, take a seat, strap up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Kick your feet up for all this news y'all finna hear right now. So, man, it was very interesting trade deadline. Like Sam said, a lot going on in the past week. As of recently, one of the most recent things here we got is let's see if Brandon Cooks is going to make it through the next 48 to 72 hours with Houston. So he's pretty upset, about the whole trade deadline not being dealt. And, he tweeted out after the fact and was like, he's tired of people playing with his career. So, he's pretty fed up. So we're going to see, if ultimately he does get released. And, honestly, I feel like every contender out there is going to be trying to sign him. I believe they might have to release him because I think he got dismissed from practice, right?
You got to clear waivers, too, if you get released now.
But do you think anybody's picking that up when he has $18 million on his deal?
Hell yeah.
It's fully guaranteed for the next season.
You think somebody going to let him clear, though? Like, all the way? That's a lot of teams that might – I'm not talking about, like, Baltimore, but, like, other teams that could be like, yo, we need him.
Maybe.
But no one traded for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It don't make
sense. They didn't trade for him because of the $18 million. That's the only reason why he didn't get traded.
Mm-hmm. So why would they pick him up off?
But I bet they also didn't trade for him because fucking Houston probably wanted. Like Houston was like, there's a couple teams that need him. Like they probably
multiple teams came to an agreement on compensation.
The reason
multiple teams came to agreement on what they needed to give up, but were really not feeling that next year fully guaranteed $18 million.
That's the big thing. But if you waive him, which I don't see happening, then somebody's going to pick him up because I'll take that $18 million when I don't got to give up a second round pick or a third round pick. I'll do that. But when you're giving up picks and you got to eat the $18 million, that's too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine a team like New England's like, yo, fuck that.
You're not clearing waivers. Ain't no way that he just sitting out.
Yeah.
Bro, New England,
you can just get them for the salary and don't have, like you said, don't have to worry about giving up the picks. Then I think it's a no-brainer.
I think a lot of teams gonna bite on that and be like, oh, we taking this nigga for sure. Like Green Bay, bro, them niggas probably jump if he makes it that far to them.
Listen, they wild. But next thing we got here, so the Falcons traded Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars. They also acquired Rashad Fenton, the corner from the Chiefs. And then also they traded safety Marlowe to the Bills. So I believe the Chiefs end up trading the corner Rashad Fenton to the Falcons because they're activating Trent McDuffie. So we're finally going to get to see him as well. Also, the Ravens are activating David Ajabo and Tyus Bowser. So something for Keith to be looking forward to. First action for David Ajabo, who was a first round pick last year. So
fucking dumbass pick, man.
I guess it's a good pick if he give y'all production.
Right. If he turn up, then what you gonna say?
It's still a dumbass pick. Niggas need a receiver.
Bro, y'all don't want a receiver, cuz.
That's not y'all MO.
Y'all really don't want a
It ain't
receiver.
happening.
Them niggas don't want Lamar either. They just want defensive players.
If
Clearly
Brandon
they
Cooks
don't
is
want
there-
Hey, y'all
if
got Roquan?
Hey, if Brandon
Yeah.
Cooks is there,
Roquan?
if Brandon Cooks is there at waivers, y'all probably pass him
They
up there
can't
too.
afford that nigga for $18 million next year.
Not when they got to pay Roquan and Lamar.
Yeah, I don't understand what y'all got going, honestly. Like, why would y'all go get
That's a
Roquan
whole
knowing you
bag
need to pay Lamar?
I think they're betting on this year. They have to make the Super Bowl or win it, right? Like they're betting on that. And then I think they're comfortable with if Lamar leaves or they have to trade Lamar, they're going to keep the defense intact and just bring someone in. Well, newsflash, bitch. Whoever you bring in, I don't give a fuck who it is. They're not going to be good with that offense.
And they're not going to be Lamar Jackson.
Bro, exactly. So I don't know what they're hoping for.
So, also, we got the Bills acquiring Nyheim Hines from the Colts, but also the Colts in return received Zach Moss from the Bills. And they also are activating the Bills are activating Tre'Davious White. Woo! So they getting him back from injury.
Hey, they should have came up off more for Alvin Kamara. They laying for that. Bro, I don't give a fuck. Bro,
They don't need to. They don't really need to, bro.
You know how crazy that nigga would have looked in that offense?
Yeah, but I don't think they even need to, bro.
Yeah, honestly.
But I don't even need to. They ain't been at full strength yet, and they still 6-1.
Nyheim Hines is going to look crazy in that offense.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna. He doesn't have a receiving back. Like I think that's a. They have a committee. They're committed to a committee. They're not just trying to sell on one guy. They got 3 backs.
But they get stuck in the spot where none of those backs produce enough in the run game. Like David Singletary helps them in the pass game occasionally, but they get stuck where like no one's being efficient running but Josh Allen.
They don't need
and
to.
Then you
they don't need to run the ball.
The thing is, Josh Allen is the motherfucker who's running the ball.
No, y'all say that, but if you watch some games where they lose, Josh is the only nigga getting any yards rushing.
I mean, they also abandoned the run really quick.
They're a pass first team.
They don't believe in their rushing game. Like that's
because
not great.
They got the backfield.
James Cook was eating at the beginning of the last game, and they just completely stopped running.
Yeah, that's just play.
They believe the quick throws as well are like an extension of the run game. So for them, it's like
RPO, the screens.
We could care less how we're moving the ball, but we're moving the ball.
Okay.
So also we got the Bears acquiring Chase Claypool from the Steelers for a second round pick. So clearly,
let's talk this.
Clearly, y'all are saying that Justin Fields is y'all guy. After the past 2 weeks,
not even the past. He been putting up numbers, at least fantasy wise. I'm looking at.
I'm saying like, especially after the last 2 weeks, that's
night game. Yeah, every single Thursday night game against the Commanders. He turned on. That was 2 weeks. Yeah. He's really turned on. He's really reading defense as well, going through his progressions, not getting rushed,
taking it when it's there. Like you fast as hell. Take off like when I was watching the Cowboys. Like he was getting them early, committing inside. DeMarcus Lawrence kept coming inside. I said, "Your ass gonna learn."
Like Michael Vick. He looked like Michael Vick.
He really did. Like you can't be 1-on-1 and expect. Even Michael would have been in a tough spot there. Like. But they made sure they didn't do that read option shit to his side unless he was doubled up.
He fast and he big. So
yeah, Justin feels different.
Definitely.
I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. So we got Awuzie going down for the Bengals. So it's feared that he might have suffered a season-ending knee injury. So that's big for them.
I think it's fast too, bro. He's their one corner that they can line up against someone with some speed, and he ain't getting toasted.
Yeah, because we know how Eli Apple's going to get done by anybody. Anybody.
And we talking about Awuzie, the Cowboys let him go in free agency. I'm still sitting off that.
Hey, y'all cooking Eli Apple. Fucking that nigga. Good God.
So we also got the Dolphins loading up some more, man, pissing me off. So they acquired Chubb from the Broncos. They sent them Chase Edmonds in return as well as some picks. So the Broncos also acquired defensive end Jacob Martin from the Jets. And then they also got running back Jeff Wilson from the Niners. So, While everybody getting better, we just stand pat.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That Bradley Chubb thing is super underrated for them.
That breakdown of what they did with those first round picks is ridiculous.
It really is.
That shit is like
that breakdown. It only worked though because you got to think they really only got Chubb and then Waddle because Tyreek Hill was a package of like multiple picks. It wasn't just the first. You know what I mean?
But it
like,
was included.
But it all was a trickle down.
You don't get it without the first.
Larry Tunsil with the gas mask.
That's crazy. That's what tweet that said. It all started here.
It all started with him.
Y'all should explain what the breakdown
of the
picks. Of the picks.
Terrence, you got him. I mean, I know for Waddle that first game, it was just a first straight up from the Tunsil deal, but then the Hill one was multiple from the Tunsil because I want to say they put in 3 of their Tunsil picks in that trade. I think Ant's about to look it up, but that shit. Adam Bradley Chubb, who his first 2 years in the league, I think before he had that injury. You're gonna have him on the other side of Christian.
He'll get paid too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why a lot of people are saying like Tampa, Baltimore, or somebody like the Cowboys should go get him. But the problem is, and they still did it with Roquan Smith, you have to pay that man.
And but Bradley, honestly, I was thinking that the Cowboys, for one, didn't need him because of if you look at the guys, it's like, okay, why are we going to get him when we got DeMarcus Lawrence playing great and we got Michael Parsons
Sam
playing
Williams, great? Hey, Sam Williams, the rookie's actually he missed.
I think
too.
So them, it's like who is he finna play over because they're playing great. So
I think we have multiple guys we play on D-line.
For them, I think it would have just been depth because then they could have just put DeMarcus Lawrence. You know how DeMarcus Lawrence sometimes lines up at tackle, depending on the package. Like he's not always outside. Imagine you would have had his ass at tackle with Chubb and Mike Off coming off the edge.
Yeah, but he's playing really well at defensive end right now. You don't even want to mess that up.
That's what I'm saying. They're playing so good, like you don't really need.
Our defense is playing really good. Like, I'm not mad about not doing anything there.
And you got
they weren't good enough to stop us from scoring 30. I'm just gonna say that.
Hey, listen, y'all scored 30.
Hold on. They scored 29. Hold on. They scored 29, and Dak threw y'all pick right before half to give y'all easy 3. So
we also fumbled fumble recovery 6. Where David Montgomery was doing.
See, that wasn't our fault, though. Dak's pick was his fault. That wasn't our fault.
Okay. All right. So what they did with the picks, they took the first pick they got, they packaged it with their 2022 first round pick for the next year to move up to pick 6 in the 2021 draft and get Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
The next year in the 2022 offseason, they took the other pick that they got from the 49ers trade, the 29th pick in the 2022 first round, and then a 2022 second round pick and a 4th round pick. And in 2023, another 4th and 6th to get Tyreek. Then in this trade deadline, they took their 2023 first round pick from the 49ers trade and a 4th round pick and Chase Edmonds and turn it into Bradley Chubb and a 2025 5th round pick.
They sent him a first for Chubb?
Yeah.
You had to include the first for him.
It was the golden market. It was about the other extra things they can toss in because multiple teams had offered a first.
For Chubb?
Yeah, 4 days out before the deadline.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if people would give up. No, he's a great.
Brian Burns is getting offers for multiple first.
2, and they was turning.
But he's
down.
also real young.
He's young. Chubb's
not
been
getting hurt.
4 or 5 years. He's been hurt. That's why I was saying I didn't know if Chubb him getting a first was surprised. Not because I think he's bad, but just because he was hurt. He hasn't.
I think the Broncos definitely won it. I think the Broncos win it.
Mm-hmm.
Win it overall for. We see where they're at, and the Dolphins need the pass rusher now.
Yeah, you get out of having to pay him. You don't sign up for nothing too crazy, and you get a pick.
It is nice to see that teams aren't overvaluing picks so much anymore, and that people are actually willing to go out and trade and get.
Sean McVay started this.
Yeah,
I mean, for the Bears, it's different. We were going to spend that second round pick on a receiver anyway, so
I just
get somebody that's established. That was a good move for y'all,
for
sure. And I mean, honestly, pairing him up with Mooney and St. Brown is big. He's 6'5".
Yeah, it's really more about opening up the intermediate routes for Cole Kmet and I think Chase Claypool will definitely do that.
For sure. And Mooney too.
Yeah, the
Big body too, helping the run game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to see it
sure.
to believe it.
I mean, look.
I swear,
I think Claypool, like just looking at Claypool, he looks like he's a bear. Like I think he's gonna be really good with Fields.
I'm gonna have to see that shit. I don't watch this.
He should be. I mean,
like he ain't got to be
Fields has a great
perfect.
deep
You
ball,
got
though.
to. It's a second round pick. Like if you saw the list of most recent second round pick receivers, most of them are not Chase Claypool. Have not even had a single season as good as Chase Claypool's rookie season.
It's also about this upcoming
I saw
wide
that
receiver
list,
class
right?
not being deep too. So that's why
I saw that list, bro, and there was 5 receivers I easily was taking over Chase Claypool.
Yeah, but you be smoking dust sometimes, so I don't even worry about that.
Hey, but this was more about that was honestly, in my opinion, more about them not having faith in this upcoming draft, being able to get a receiver of like Chase Claypool.
Shit, they not good. Marvin Harris is about to be in the fucking
I think
draft.
it's also, but
he gonna go first round though.
Yeah, it's we're not gonna spend our first round pick on the wide receiver because we're the Bears. Because we're Bears. Like I hear you, but also I know what team I'm rooting for personally. I just understand where we are. We probably should spend it on the offensive lineman. I guarantee we spend it on a 3 technique DN. I'm just saying, like, just because who we are as an organization, you like, I hear your shock. I raise you. I agree, and just be like, that's like you getting your hopes up for a receiver at the deadline as a Baltimore fan. You're not getting it. Like, you know better. You know better, right? So what I'm gonna do is know better and not get my hopes up for a first round wide receiver or an offensive lineman, even though I hope we do on the offensive line, and we'll probably spend it on a DN.
Gotcha. So honestly, the NFC North was active at the deadline. So we also got the Vikings acquiring TJ Hawkinson from the Lions. And also the Vikings put Irv Smith on IR. So that was the reason they went out and, got TJ Hawkinson as well. Not sure why the Lions are helping out the Vikings, but
that Hawkinson trade massive for the Vikes, bro. Good God.
It is.
That nigga is nice in the past.
And gave up a 2. Come on,
bro.
Not
That's
bad.
perfect, bro.
3 and got back a 4.
Bro,
exactly.
Adam Thielen's getting older, so you're really gonna have Justin with Hawk. I heard
It'd be nice.
I heard that they were moving a lot of pieces, bro. I wish teams would have called about Jeff Okudah because I was gonna be vicious. Oh my God, I would have put in a trade to go get Jeff Okudah.
Also, you got the Colts firing their offensive coordinator, Marcus Brady. And then moving on as well, we got the Eagles putting Jordan Davis on IR. That's big as well. You have the Steelers acquiring William Jackson, the corner. You got the Packers and the Ravens staying pat at the deadline. Neither one of them trade for a receiver, albeit knowing that they need one bad. But the Ravens did acquire Roquan Smith from the Bears. So, I mean, then you also got Dan Snyder looking into selling the Commanders. So, finally, we got some movement on that. Also, you got we talked about it briefly, the Panthers turning down multiple first-rounders for Brian Burns. And the Rams also turned down offers for Cam Akers, hoping that he'd eventually stay with him, albeit he said that he thinks, it's not the right place for him in his career. So we'll see how that works out.
I don't know why they didn't just deal that nigga. They literally said they were going to, looking for trades and then just not to deal him.
Did they not get anything because everybody knew that he'd get released eventually?
That's probably what it is.
Enough for Cam Akers.
There's a weird thing, like running backs like Cam, and I'm trying to think, like smaller backs like that, like their market is just not as crazy as people make it seem. You know what I mean?
But his height in the league has never even garnered that crazy for you to think his market would be high enough. Like
he's been injury prone and he hasn't really produced. So
you've been laughing at Chase Claypool, but Chase Claypool has a better height season so far than Cam Akers.
I mean, we
and is healthy
back to a receiver and a receiver.
I think Chase Claypool can ball out, especially if he's going to be the number 1. I think he could ball out, honestly.
I think Mooney might still be the one just because.
Yeah, Mooney ass about to sign because one, you can't double him now. I mean, you probably still can double him, because I don't really know what Chase is going to do. Chase just got beat out by George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. There's not a reason that Chase shouldn't have been the alpha dog with them two other. Like, that's what I'm saying. I watched Chase go from, and in his defense, in his only defense, bro, this motherfucker ain't really had a quarterback. He had the one arm of Ben. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt on that part. But I'm saying you should be able, as an alpha big receiver like he is, and it's not like he doesn't have any talent, to beat out Deontay Johnson, who drops the ball, and George Pickens, who's a rookie.
He can't beat out Johnson because Johnson can run better routes and get open for it. That's why Big Ben loved him, and that's why he still gets more targets. Like,
exactly.
He's a big body receiver that you that you get, but those guys are guys they trust. The only guys he's trusting Pickens more because
Pickens come down with the ball.
Pickens is a dude. Claypool drops the ball a lot.
Claypool
drops the ball a lot, and he's not as good of a route runner. It's really
that's
I mean, George Pickens might just be better. I mean, like,
I think George Pickens is the best receiver on that team. He's the best receiver on that team, but Deontay Johnson gets away with the drops because of his route running and his volume that he'll drop one and then make a big play.
Guy. Yeah.
Also, Claypool's rapport with Ben sunk after that time where it was 2-minute drill.
Oh, and bro was dancing or doing some extra stuff.
He was dancing and doing some dumb shit.
First time.
And with older quarterbacks especially, they do not like that nonsense. I feel like other people, he started falling out of favor with honestly a lot of members of the team after that. His post press thing, he refused to take any responsibility for it too.
I'm just saying he's not a difference maker on the Bears.
Bears gonna have to pay him too, though.
It might help y'all out because
right.
Mooney, like you said, Mooney's gonna be the alpha dog for sure. He's not gonna get double covered. Cole Kmet should be able to eat, but Claypool only runs a couple routes, and it's nothing spectacular, big dog. It's not like
it doesn't. We need someone to take the top off the defense so the intermediate stuff works out.
Mooney is that dude.
Him and Mooney are gonna. Mooney's more of the burner. And Claypool will be the you could throw it up to, and then you got Cole Kmet, and you got two solid running backs like that. I think Claypool is a really good fit on that with that offense.
I think so too. He's a possession receiver. So
the problem now is when you take the top off the defense, the best receiver and the only one you're really worried about is the person that took the top off the shit.
Right,
that's your real problem.
Who else is the Bears receivers? So Mooney?
Y'all was gonna double him anyway, so it don't really open up much.
That nigga nice, boy. That nigga nice.
They didn't have no other receivers. It was Mooney. It was just Mooney.
No hat cap. That boy nice. He reminded me of Marquise Brown, but he just don't drop the ball as much as Marquise Brown did early. Like, he literally reminds me of him. It's just early on, Marquise Brown was dropping the ball at an ungodly rate.
Okay, we talked a lot about the Bears. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, we good to move on, Cliff, to the RPO. You can go ahead and
set us up.
Yeah, RPO that thing.
All right. So we're going to start with Sam here for this one. The Las Vegas Raiders will finish in the bottom 5 of the league, currently sitting at 2-5. Runner pass.
Bottom 5. Let me just look at a list of these teams real quick.
I'll give you the bottom 5 right now. You got the Raiders at 2-5, Steelers at 2-6, Texans at 1-5, Jags at 2-6, and then Lions 1-6, Panthers 2-6. So they tied down there for the low end. But out of those teams, you think schedule and everything that those, where they'll be at, because they still got to play. Their division's tough. Period.
Yeah, I'm gonna run with it. I think they'll end up a bottom 5 team. They looked awful this past week against the Saints. They still got a lot of games going, and I mean, the Saints have been on the struggle bus as far as defense goes, and really maybe got on track against this Raiders offense just because of how bad they were. So I think even though we've been high on Josh Jacobs, especially the past few weeks, and he's looked really good, I just think this team is going to continue to be pretty bad. And they blow games late, even the games that they're in and should win. And they're also still getting blown out in a bunch of other games. So it is not looking good. So I'm going to run with it.
I would have ran with it too. Next question we got for T.O. So what we was talking about a little earlier, The Dolphins the Dolphins are serious Super Bowl contenders after the addition of Bradley Chubb. Run or pass?
I'm gonna run with it. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like they definitely started looking like the same team once they got Tua back. Like once Teddy Two Gloves and Skylar Thompson, whoever the other quarterback, came in briefly and they were looking that good, but then you got Tua back and it's looking like the same offense it was at the beginning of the season before he went out. And you got Waddle and Hill, who are two burners and two number ones, honestly, and they're both damn near every game getting 100+ yards, multiple touchdowns. I mean, they can get the run game going, and oh man, it's something scary.
There's teams like we talked about the Bills not going out there. Alvin, there's a couple teams that could have made that push for Buddy, and it probably would have been ungodly. Like the Dolphins, for example, that shit would have looked crazy.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So got the next question for Ant. We kind of just talked about this a little bit too. Chase Claypool will be Justin Fields' new favorite target. Run or pass?
No, pass. Absolutely pass. Absolutely pass. He's going to be no. He's going to be behind Darnell. He's going to probably also be behind Cole Kmet. But like, I hope that he gets his rapport up with Justin, and I think that's one of the big reasons why a trade now is good, because you want a more established offense together, flowing into their second year under Eberflus and under homeboy from the Packers, whose name is escaping me real quick, together. But no, pass, high pass, hard pass.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. But we do have a question from a listener. Brian Gaston just joined. What do y'all think about the future of Malik Willis as the Titans starter beginning next year? Tannehill's contract is done at the end of this season. They won't re-sign him.
Guess who was right, bitches?
Yo, you've been praying. Hey, actually, answer this one, Keith, because you've been praying on this man's downfall all season long.
Quick question though. I think he might have. Is this his last year of the contract?
I think he has one more year, but I think they can cut him with no cash.
It might be the last
no
guarantee.
penalty. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll check here while we answer.
I'm not praying on this man's downfall. He just gave that bogus ass answer. No, I actually was praying for his downfall. Fuck all that. He said
keep the smoke.
Yeah, he said that shit about not helping someone on his team. Like, bro, it's not you helping some dude on another team. Like, of course Malik can beat you out. We all know that. But if he beats you out, it's still a good thing for the team, regardless if he's playing at a high level. So I feel like they're gonna move on, go forward, Malik, because you gotta think if Malik is obviously he's more mobile, if his arm talent gets better, which is not bad, he has a crazy deep ball. If he gets better at developing, they don't have a lot of weapons. Like it's really Derrick Henry. So I would add, okay, well, Malik, Will, or I don't want to say Willis. I can't say this man's name. It's Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis.
Yeah, I don't know why I was about to say some other shit. If I can add another weapon back there with Derrick Henry, and Robert Woods next year is going to be fully healthy, and maybe he has a good year, like he's playing solid right now, but he's comfortable after the injury, and then Trayvon Burks develops even more. Like their defense for the most part is intact, but offensively it's not like weapon driven. But it doesn't need to be because Derrick Henry's out here acting like an animal. But I
feel like they need to get a receiver. I feel like they need to go get a number one, whether it's in the draft.
They had one. They let the nigga go.
But that's the point. They don't have one now, so now they need one. So
I think they assumed Treylon Burks with that. He's just been hurt since early, so we haven't really gotten to see it develop.
1 year left in Tannehill's contract, correct, but they do have a full out where they do not have to pay him any money. I don't think they have a dead cap, anything else after this year, but he does have a final year on it. But
maybe
the team
trade him. The team might take him.
No.
Yeah, I think they're gonna run it with Malik Willis.
I bet you the Commanders, if they can't get a quarterback, take his ass. What?
The Commanders
take anybody.
The Commanders need to just leave Taylor Heineke alone and let
him they just took Carson Wentz.
It looks so terrible.
Try him. Between the Commanders and the Colts, one of them motherfuckers is gonna try for him.
Oh my god! Actually, I believe the Colts with my whole heart. Actually, so I'm not even gonna fight you on that. I wholeheartedly believe in the Colts as a thing. Yes, you got it.
The Colts are trying to avoid that rebuild, bro. They're like, it's evident at this point it's gonna happen.
You got it, the Colts.
That's a smooth Colts pickup right there. Trade with the
It
Titans. Trade within the division and go get a quarterback that's been beating you. That's about to be 35 years old. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, shit.
And it's not like Tannehill. The other thing is Tannehill had chances to take that team over the top. So it's not like bro, you done had those chances. Y'all done
selling.
They done been in them. They done been in them fucking games.
Is the mid still selling?
Yeah,
he be selling.
That shit 2006, the way the mid selling up there. I'm not keeping that motherfucker.
No.
Yeah, they gonna definitely run it with Malik Willis.
You got to at this point.
3 interceptions last year.
You got to start somewhere. You got to. I mean, he old, bro.
Because Derrick Henry,
and he ain't getting over the hump. He ain't getting no better. So like, bro, it's like, where you at?
Derrick ain't getting no younger. Derrick do good this year. Next year he might go crazy again. But he getting old, bro.
And the type of back he is,
they give him a lot of touches.
It's gonna start. No matter how big he is, he getting hit. They chopping him. They hitting him.
And if you develop Malik earlier, it's clean. Because then if you still got Henry producing, you're in there.
Okay,
agreed.
I got one more RPO quest for Keith. So Ravens decided to spend a second to get Roquan Smith, who they'll have to pay at the end of the season or mid-season, or they're gonna have to pay him, and boost their defense rather than adding, a much-needed wide receiver. The Ravens are selling out on Lamar. Runner pass.
We're gonna fucking run with this. This shit, bro. All right. So remember last year when all those receivers were up for grabs? I'm talking AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Scary Terry, and they were all up for grabs. Like if you offered the right pot, you probably could have got them motherfuckers, and you didn't do it. And then newsflash, this year you can't do it because it's a dead cap hit if you try to acquire them, and the team is not eating $30 million when they just signed them. So now you're in this fucking rabbit hole where, okay, well, what team's getting rid of a veteran receiver? There's not many. Mike Thomas ain't been active for the Saints, so you can't even try there. Anybody else is competition, so they're not going to give you their asset. And the only team you could hope for that would do it is the Bucs, who, if I was a Bucs fan, I would wholeheartedly welcome a rebuild at this point. But they're not at that point. That's a topic for another discussion. But on the Ravens part, you fucked that shit last year. You fucked it again this year, and it's not Roquan Smith's fault, but you spent so much money on defense, it does not make any fucking sense. Everybody on the defensive side of the ball is getting paid. So now all it tells me is either Chuck Clark's ass is getting traded next year and you re-sign Marcus Peters, or both of them go, you re-sign Roquan Smith, and then you're probably trading Lamar or you're letting him walk. Because you're not doing nothing to help him offensively and develop him. And you guys, you don't fucking believe him. You don't fucking trust him. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's pissing me off, though. There's no way you're
steaming over there.
Bro, you can tell Cliff right now. I know Cliff, if he plays with the Ravens, he don't use that sorry-ass playbook. You watch that shit live, bro. I'm telling you, the ex-receiver is going to run a fucking 10-yard curl. The tight end's going to run an option route. Niggas either running a 10-yard in or deep post or he's running out. The other receiver's running a goddamn curl. And the fullback's coming on a wheel.
Y'all have always been a defensive team though. Like y'all have always been a defensive team. When have y'all had an elite number one receiver?
Listen to
Tell me his name.
Cliff. It was goddamn
Steve Smith.
It's crazy.
You said Derek Mason.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy when you think about that.
Hold on.
Steve Smith.
Bro, but listen, who the fuck is getting open on that route tree, bro? Like, there's no spacing. Like, it's just bogus. Like, at this point, if you didn't go get that man a number one receiver, you should have got that nigga a running back. Because you tell him every Sunday, hey, we need you to be the best quarterback on the field, and we also need you to be our best running back. What kind of shit?
That's true.
And you won't pay this nigga? Oh, bro. Please trade him. Because y'all you're just selling.
Yeah.
What's popping? How's it going? Shout out to the Chop Up Show.
Chop Up
Show. I thought that said Chop Up Shot. I might do that shit. Chop Up Shot might be where it's at. Chop Up Show. It's all right, though.
All right. Yo, all right. Let's run down to the players of the week.
Ooh.
So for offensive player of the week for week 8, we got a couple honorable mentions. Couple of dudes went off and had 3 touchdown days, AJ Brown and Alvin Kamara. Both of them had over 100 yards on the day total and had 3 touchdown days and big wins for their team. So they both deserve shout outs and honorable mentions. But week 8 player of the week has to go to Christian McCaffrey. He had 8 carries, 94 rushing yards, rushing touchdown. He had 8 receptions for 55 yards, a receiving touchdown, and 34 passing yards and a passing touchdown in the 49ers win over the Rams. He's the first player since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2005 to have a receiving, rushing, and passing touchdown all in the same game. He had 183 total yards, 3 touchdowns against the division rival that the 49ers outbid to get him. So that's just a little cherry on top. And the reason that he gets player of the week. All of them had 3 touchdowns, so this was honestly a really tough one. All of them helped their teams win. But the historic nature of the 3 different types of touchdowns plus beating the division rival, I thought was enough to edge it out for him. So that is our player of the week.
McVay cannot seem to get past this man, Shanahan. It's insane.
He got him the one time it counted, and I think he's going to try to hang on to that.
Hey, he going to have to shoot that man the ones. He going to have to shoot that man the ones.
Hey,
that's the only way you're getting a dub.
Hey, listen.
Hey, TTV Frosted, or I think I said that right. TTV Frosted. What up, big dog?
What's up, man?
What's poppin'? Appreciate you for stopping by.
I think Niners, that shit's just scary though when you look at it. Like that shit's just scary.
Yeah, they kind of going hard. And they're getting healthier too. They are not healthy. Debo did not play that game, and they did not skip a beat. They were like, here's our Christian McCaffrey package from only 2 weeks of time of him being on the team.
And they're on bye this week. So they'll go in fresh for the next week too. So that'll be crazy.
Yeah,
2 weeks, dog. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's just wild. So we got do you have any other players of the week, Sam, or is that it?
Yeah, I have defensive. I didn't do special teams, but for defensive, I gave it to defensive lineman from the Broncos, Draymond Jones. He ended up having 7 tackles and a sack, 3 of those tackles being tackles for loss against a win over the Jaguars, and the Colts or the Broncos really needed that win. So I thought that performance had an extra edge to it because the Broncos have just been in a spiral and in the media a ton. So defense has stepped up. Defense has been great for the Broncos all year. They're definitely one of the best defenses in the NFL. If the offense can get it figured out, they should be still able to compete, but seems like they are kind of going in the opposite direction of that and trying to regain some of their draft capital that they spent on Russ with trading Bradley Chubb at the deadline. So I don't know how good that defense will look going forward, but for this past week, they were great.
Eric is here. He's ready to hate. We missed him last week, so he has enough hate for the week he's missed for sure. F. Waller's the Yankees and the Bears.
I'm with you on F. Waller. As they fucking play.
Waller's been having terrible
ass on the field.
Season.
Hey, you know what though? If Sam's right about them finishing bottom 5, how shocked would you be if the Raiders started moving talent? I would not be shocked because that team has so many holes, dog. Defensive line, offensive line.
Nah, you know what needs to happen?
Secondary.
Josh McDaniels' ass need to be up out of there.
I think that'll happen.
Ain't no reason
back to New England.
It just ain't no reason for that team to be that talented. And y'all getting y'all ass whooped every week. Y'all need to score a point. Y'all
got shut out.
But
how does that happen?
Bro,
Devontae Adams is on that team. He had 3 yards.
Bro, I'm telling you what happened.
That shit don't make no fucking sense.
Bro,
that shit don't even logically make any sense.
No points, though? Not even a field goal?
Bro,
That shit don't make any sense. You got one of the best kickers. Y'all couldn't get in range to kick a 55-yarder.
He's
That shit's
supposed to
sad
be an
as hell.
offensive guru. He's supposed to be an
That
offensive
shit's sad.
guru. We ain't
What
scoring
I'm
no
saying-
points.
Hey, you
That
know
shit's
why that
sad.
shit's happening though, bro? Because they can only afford to get in the shootouts, and if a team is stopping them, they can't do anything. That secondary is awful.
Shootouts.
No, but I'm saying if they can,
Wasn't no shooting.
They ain't even drawing a gun. But you're still in the holster.
bro, I'm saying they can only afford to they either like you saw this past weekend, they get shut out or they get shootouts and lose because they don't have bro. The offensive line is terrible. The defensive line is not good.
Early in the season, they was up like on the Cardinals, for example,
and
they was blowing lead. They was blowing leads like every week. Like they blew the 20-some point lead, the 17 point. They was blowing leads, and then now it's just we can't even score.
Hey,
Yeah, at this point, they don't even bother to get the lead. They just
Hey,
You don't give it up anyway. Might as
Why
well
blow it?
try
hey,
something
tell
different.
them I got a first for Devontae Adams next year for sure.
They don't got nothing. They
A
don't-
first.
A
They don't-
one
they don't-
after what they gave up.
What you think
I'm
the
saying.
You think the Ravens gonna send more than A first? Let's be real.
I mean,
Well,
you gotta
y'all
send
ain't
what
gonna
they
send
sent for
nothing.
Tyreek.
Y'all gonna
Yeah.
offer
I
Rashad
don't-
Bateman in a 3 and say, be like, let's get him.
You know what's crazier? That nigga's gonna be out for 4 weeks and they still didn't go get a receiver.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Deshaun Jackson should play for y'all this weekend.
Hey, you got D-Jack. Yeah, you ain't ready for no D-Jack?
God damn, I'm sick of
When's
it.
he gonna play?
I think he should, like, ideally, he should be
Y'all
playing
offense
this
ain't
week or
that
next week.
complex.
Yeah.
Standing on the sideline.
Fucking no, bitch.
Run. Run.
The offense ain't that complex.
Bro, it's fucking not, bro. You watch this shit. I told y'all what the shit is. It's a curl, a fucking option route from the tight end, a wheel route for my fucking 300-pound fullback, and then another curl on another receiver. It's terrible.
Y'all should have went and got another fullback or something. So somebody extra to block. I mean,
No.
y'all already run the ball.
He said he'll get another full.
Yo, Eric said the Raiders offense is on layaway. But don't let that distract you from the coach being trash.
That's the issue. I think he on the hot seat. Kingsbury's on the hot seat.
Put it all in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kingsbury eyes don't.
Keep the good pieces and start over, bro.
You saw
They
how
might go on
Nate
a run,
Hackett.
though.
That shit bad.
Yeah.
Nate Hackett is on the hot seat for
He
sure.
gave up the
I don't
offensive
think
play
he
calling
is,
though.
yo.
He gave up the offensive play calling. So
When?
and I think he had like meetings with the players and stuff too. And maybe they might be able to get it turned around because.
But hey, I'm gonna be honest. The only thing that helps Josh McDaniels is Oakland had a whole lot of shit going on before he got there that was not football shit.
But they were winning.
Yeah, they were still winning.
Like they had a whole bunch of shit. It was winning games. Now they got no shit going on, and they can't win to save their lives.
And they're more talented. They're
That's
more
a bad
talented.
look. That's not a good look. That's a bad look.
Oh, that's tough.
That's a bad look, not a good one. No.
You're right.
And they're
Y'all
even
right
more
about
talented
that.
too, Keith.
And we're
They're
winning
even more
in the midst
talented.
of all that shit. So, y'all right.
Yo, how you lose with no distractions? And y'all was winning with the most distractions. All right, look, let's get
Crazy.
that. Who is a better coach? I like this one. Who is a better coach, Nathaniel Hackett or
Oh,
McDaniels?
man.
Hackett?
Flip a goddamn coin.
Oh,
This
man.
McDaniels-
I think
I'm
this is Hackett's
gonna
first
say
try.
McDaniels.
This
Nathaniel
McDaniel's
Hackett
third
has
time.
Nah, I gotta go to
Nathaniel
Hackett
Hackett
because
has
lack of it.
true like clock management problems. They are
Your first time
always having to call timeout because they're about to get delay of games in huge situations. They've gotten delay of games to
I'm
get
letting
them
you know.
out of field goal range multiple times. It's like awful to
Yeah.
watch.
Hey, I'm letting you know.
have to say.
Greg Roman got the same issues. The motherfucker don't be calling timeouts and letting John don't be calling. Bro, I don't know what it is. There's just some confusion going on.
Well, maybe he thinks that's the coach's thing, not his.
And McDaniel, I think he's just an offensive coordinator. I don't think he's a good head coach at this point.
Offensive
Hey,
coordinator.
aren't you supposed to get back Thornton, old boy?
Hey, listen.
Hey, yeah, he should be back soon.
Yeah, he back.
Back.
Okay.
He back.
Facts. All right, let's move into the fantasy players of the week. Who got that?
Yeah, so I got
Gio?
that, man. So we rocking with the day of the hat trick for fantasy this week. So some surprising players who really balled out. And all these people had hat tricks was A.J. Brown, Dante Foreman, Tony Pollard, and Alvin Kamara. We're also going to throw in CMC, obviously, who had 3 total touchdowns. Hill and Waddle, duo still doing damage down in Miami. Ramondre Stevenson and Travis Etienne. Disappointing. We're going to go with, I should have just put the whole Raiders organization, but Josh Jacobs, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, obviously Waller, and the Raiders,
he even
obviously.
Play?
He didn't play.
But that's why he on
Leave
that.
him alone, bro. He ain't even play. He
on that because
he get on the field.
He won't even produce him when he was on the field. So we gonna throw him in there too.
Hey, Mac Hollins did good. Mac Hollins got like 13 fantasy points.
How about we talk about Josh Jacobs and how good he's doing, and he shits the bed along with the entire offense.
Hey,
I mean, they ain't scored no points. What he's supposed to do?
Derek Carr only had almost like
runs.
3 points. I think Derek Carr only had almost 3 points, like 2.95. He didn't even have 3 points. I'm like, what is this? So, also disappointing is Christian Kirk and Marvin Jones, but I believe that's due to their ETN emergence. They're running a lot more 2 tight end sets, so Marvin Jones isn't getting on the field as much. But then also Christian Kirk in real life got the bag, and I mean, why we pay him all this money just to bring him here and not give him the ball? But then we also got Malik Willis making a start, and he only almost had 2 points. Then we got Cortland Sutton, George Pickens, who had 0 points, and Tyler Higbee at tight end as well.
Is it really Sutton's fault and George Pickens? Let's be honest.
I didn't say it was their fault, but it's still disappointing.
That's fair.
All right,
so yeah, Keith's got the game of the week. You can go ahead and
all right,
up, man.
Game of the week. We got, obviously, I'm gonna say special mentions for this Panthers and Falcons game. I would have gave it a game of the week, but there's something else we had that was going on. But technically in the rule book of that Panthers game, DJ Moore shouldn't have got a penalty because he was outside.
That's true.
He was outside the area of play. So that begs differ why he got that flag called. And then I know him and the kicker were sitting on the plane crying together because even with him getting that call, you had 2 times to kick it and you missed them bitches.
Bro.
Mm-hmm.
I know he got cut. I just know he was cut.
He needed to get cut. But then,
they probably didn't even let him travel back with the team.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Moore probably had to take the bus home.
DJ Moore cool. But it was the kicker.
But
technically he did it. Technically he did it. That's what I'm saying.
He wasn't.
He dropped the pass on 4th down, but then he redeemed himself with the touchdown.
And he wasn't on the field to play. So.
But he scored a touchdown, but he's the reason why the extra point got moved back.
No,
it shouldn't have been a flag though.
But that's what Keith is saying. Keith is saying he was out of bounds when he did it. He was no longer in the field of play. It should not have been a penalty.
Gotcha. And I don't give a fuck. If you kicking we're at the 15. It was a 15-yard penalty. You can't make a 30-something yard field goal, motherfucker.
Nah, bro, he had 2 chances too.
Yeah,
he said, "Nah, B, I ain't got it."
Yeah, so he sold. But game of the week, obviously, you got. I'm gonna go home team Ravens flock. It was dope. Went to Tampa, watched the game in person. Got to see Tom Brady look like a bag of cans. LJ was looking spectacular. Mark Andrews dislocated his shoulder or some craziness. That shit looked disgusting. I was super excited to see the Devin White and Lamar matchup in open field, and Lamar did not disappoint, and Devin White looked off.
They was attacking that man.
Bro, he was trying to chase him. He couldn't chase him down, bro. He tried to beat him to the sideline. Lamar smoked him, and then Tyler Linderbaum was big boy country getting him out of the club. It was amazing to see. It was a good win by the Ravens, and shout out to the dad and the father that were sitting behind me talking cash, and then they had to cry on the way home. I loved it. I love it. Anytime the Ravens win is great. But you mean the Ravens beat Tampa? Oh, bitch.
All right. Let's move into the no huddle. And we're doing this a little bit different this time. We're going to play a game of Who Are You Taking? I'm going to provide the guys with some players to compare, and they're going to let me know which players they would rather have. Let's start around with some running backs, because I feel like that's going to go very well. The first player is Austin Eckler. All right, T.O. and Sam, Austin Eckler or Alvin Kamara?
I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara. He looks like he's back, and I think when they're at full health and peak strength, I think Alvin Kamara is a better player, even though Eckler's been the RB1 for this year so far.
I actually like the Alvin Kamara pick, but I'm gonna go Austin Eckler. I mean, ever since his emergence during, I think it was a Kansas City game, I mean, he's just been on the tear. So honestly, especially when you got guys that are injured as well, he's gonna get more. He's gonna get more touches. So when you got Mike Williams, you got Keenan Allen, he should get more in the passing game as well as running the ball. So.
All right, let's go Austin Eckler or Josh Jacobs, and everybody can answer this one.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Austin Eckler, come on now.
Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler. That man's pass in the passing game. He's getting like double-digit targets, like on a regular basis. So,
All right.
I mean,
Yeah, as a pure runner, maybe Jacobs, but I think just what he can do in the pass game, Eckler.
I think Josh Jacobs got to get too many touches to be productive, though.
Okay.
We can't talk about them after that goose egg.
All right, let's go. Austin Eckler or Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones.
I'm gonna go Eckler because he got the AJ Dillon that can also steal a lot of his carries, touchdowns.
They ain't got no damn receivers. That nigga Aaron Jones getting the ball.
I'm still taking Eckler.
Their offense ain't been looking that good though.
The Packers' offense is quiet, and when they get down, they got to throw that bitch down the field, and that ain't who they throwing it to. So
I can't believe y'all took Eckler over AK though. That's crazy.
Aaron Jones nice though, but
I'm talking about
Keith said Aaron Jones, yo.
Over
Aaron
Alvin?
said, who said Aaron Jones?
But you gonna take y'all taking Eckler over Alvin though?
Who's taking carries from him? Who's taking carries from
that the Saints offense ain't doing. I'm taking the Chargers and Eckler that offense.
You didn't see that 24-0? That beatdown?
Hey, that motherfucker
3 touchdowns?
All right, last guy here. Austin Eckler or Saquon Barkley?
Saquon right now.
Fuck, that's hard.
tough.
I'm gonna say Saquon too.
Look, he's looking crazy right now.
I'm sticking with Austin, man.
That nigga, what is going on?
I'm sticking with Austin, bro.
This man Austin made it through everybody.
Listen,
I'm talking.
production wise, he been getting after it the past couple seasons.
I kind of like
Austin Eckler.
it. Just a little gauntlet of someone trying to make it through all of those.
It's really tough. Saquon has been the most consistent, like week in, week out. But Eckler will be consistent and give you a 13, but then he'll hit you with a 36 piece. Like Saquon's not doing that.
So Eckler a top 5 back in y'all opinion?
No question.
Yes. I've been saying that since the beginning of the preseason rankings. I had ranked the highest.
No question.
I had him in like 3, and Keith thought I was tripping. So it don't like his mind has changed one item. So he still think I'm tripping.
Bro, he started out the first 3 weeks. It had 11, 18, and 13. Since then. 34, 35, 24, 36. That's not a.
Are we talking about fantasy or are we talking like?
I'm looking at fantasy.
His production doing good if he got any points.
Because he's not even snapping it with his carries. It's his action in the pass game. It's his action in his pass. He hasn't even got 20 carries in a game yet.
So you're just saying he's just more versatile? Because I'm like
I think Saquon can do it all too. I just think that Eckler is getting way more volume and is producing with it. Like Saquon is still doing his thing with his 5 to 6 catches a game in his steady run game, but he's not exploding with those plays all the time.
But those backs, I'm not saying Eckler's trash, but he would be 5th or 6th for me. But I'm saying someone like Saquon or Alvin Kamara or CMC in that Chargers offense with Justin Herbert, I feel like would do way more damage. Like Alvin Kamara with a competent quarterback good. You saw what the motherfucker was doing with Drew Brees, who could barely throw the ball.
But that's why I'm choosing Eckler over some of the running backs as well. Because if you look
Because
at
you're looking at
production, he got Justin Herbert.
But
we don't know if Daniel Jones at some point gonna fall off a cliff for Saquon. Then
but I'm saying them boys had Herbert. They doing way better numbers than him.
All right, all right. Let's keep this one moving, and we'll go to QB stuff real quick. All right, and we are going to talk Geno Smith, who's having a career year. All right, so I want to start with Geno Smith or Kirk Cousins.
That's a good one.
Geno Smith.
Geno this year. Geno.
Yeah,
I'm going Geno.
Yeah, I'm going Geno too.
All right, so Geno sweep. I love it.
I'm fucking with Geno right now.
All right, Geno Smith or Jimmy G?
Geno.
Yeah. Jimmy G got to the Super Bowl. Y'all have no respect for this man. I love it.
The week before last, he didn't look too hot.
All right. Look, this one I want you to project into the following season as well.
Okay.
Geno Smith or Trevor Lawrence?
Ooh.
Trevor, because that nigga's getting Calvin Ridley. And good God, that motherfucker is nice.
We said Geno or Trevor?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris and Kurt, one-on-one covers? Because Calvin Ridley getting doubled? Ooh, I'm picking that motherfucker up.
I'm gonna stay with Geno, and I'm gonna stay with Geno because he's been so efficient, so consistent, and he's not turning the ball over. And then you got to think about it. He still has DK, Tyler Lockett. He has Noah Fant.
Do you think
Kenneth Walker been balling too?
Do you think that's a benefit because the defense didn't really know if Seattle was gonna start him this year? Like it was kind of up in the air early. Like, what's so happening?
Yo, Eric said Geno Smith or Tom Brady.
I mean, right now,
yeah.
Easy.
But I'm saying, you think Geno Smith? Because I watched, I forget which ESPN reporter was talking about it. He said Geno's really good when his feet are planted and he's throwing at his first read, like on the route concepts. He's not having to move. And if you look at some of the games, he's not having to move off his first read. Is what I'm saying. Like the first read is getting open because obviously it's Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. They're running the ball really well. Like he's not having to over process. And honestly, Pete's making it really easy for him. And Geno's a vet, so it's not like it's kind of like how people do Jimmy G or Kirk Cousins. Like, hey, you don't have to overthink this shit. Except for he's doing way better because he's not turning the fucking ball over.
But he's making some plays shake though. There's some plays that break down, and that's when we've typically seen him fold. And he's throwing dots. I'm talking like how the fuck like he's making a lot of like on read. But his
accuracy when his set is like he's pretty accurate. When he set like on the run, you said like when the prey breaks down a little bit and he can reset his feet. That was the reporter was like, no, he's really good at that. Like him being able to reset his feet and let it go, he's pretty good.
Okay, then I ask you this last one. Geno Smith or Derek Carr still project to the following season.
There's no fucking Geno.
I said still project to the following season. I don't want y'all to be prisoners of the moment.
At this point, I'm taking Kirk Cousins over fucking.
I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, if Derek Carr was looking like last year's Derek Carr, which should be amplified because he got Devontae Adams, then I would pick him. But the way, the way he's playing, I gotta choose Geno.
They shouldn't have no issue with no motherfucker you played with in college. Like, the report shouldn't be great, but it shouldn't be impossible. Like the comeback.
Honestly, it doesn't matter who at quarterback. It's Devontae Adams.
It shouldn't be 3 yards in a game. That shit literally makes no sense. I still ain't made no sense to me.
Like a comeback route, the timing might be different, but all the motherfucking routes this nigga runs.
Ain't got to score a point. Who you throwing the fucking ball to when you down the whole game?
Look
How
at
the fuck you get 3 yards? It don't even make sense.
It really don't. Look at the success D-Hop. Look at the success D-Hop had.
That's
who was his quarterbacks the whole time. It don't matter who the quarterback is. You got Devontae Adams. Like, get this man a rock.
You know people ain't pressing Devontae Adams. That's the other thing. Because his release is ridiculous. Yeah. So he already get 3 yards when he get off the ball in the line of scrimmage. Hello.
Saints defense back. What can you say?
Okay. All right, y'all. Look. Let's go. Let's go back to wide receivers. I want to talk about Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans is a perplexing figure for a lot of people. So
can't need to trade this man.
Let's go Mike Evans or Amari Cooper.
this year.
Shit, I might have to take Coop,
I-
bro. Coop,
I don't
Coop been
know.
eating, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm
I don't know
gonna
what
take
the
Coop.
stats
I hate to
I'm
say
taking
it.
Coop.
Coop been eating.
I'm going to say Mike Evans.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Coop because he's one of the best route runners in the league,
I'm probably
and his
gonna say
hand he's pretty consistent catching the ball. So I'm gonna go Coop. If he had Deshaun Watson this whole season, he'd probably be looking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
we talk. I mean, we talking right now. This season thus far, I think his numbers will be better because he is the clear one there. And there's so many guys in Tampa and that offense don't look nothing like it's supposed to.
Yeah, Mike Evans dropping.
Aaron says, "Stop it! It's Evans. Come on."
Hey, Evans got more yards. He's beating Amari by like 20 yards, and he is at 4.8 average, like 14.8 an average for receptions, and then Amari's at 14.2. But they have the same amount of receptions, but Amari has 5 touchdowns this year to Mike Evans 3, which normally Mike Evans is the one getting touchdowns like that. So I think it's safe to say we're not talking about Mike.
Like I said, that offense is not scoring points.
We're not talking about the consistency of Mike Evans, like thousand.
Projected to next season for the following two for suspension and injury purposes. Okay. So projected to the next season as well, Mike Evans or Keenan Allen?
I mean, Mike Evans, he's going to stay healthier than Keenan.
He's on the field, yeah. Mike Evans.
That's why I said projected to next season.
It's hard. I love Keenan Allen, though. When Keenan Allen's on the field,
Keenan got better routes and hands than Mike. Like, he definitely got Mike on that.
If we're projecting forward, I'll probably rock with Keenan Allen.
Okay. All right. Last one. And this one, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I'm going to ask you, probably a dub, but Mike Evans or D-Hop?
D-Hop.
D-Hop, yeah.
D-motherfucking Hop.
The crazy shit about Nuke, that nigga is not fast and be getting off on people.
He's just so smooth and it's his route running, oddly compared. Well, Justin Jefferson and him remind me of each other, kind of how they move and route running and like smoothness, because they're not the biggest. Neither one of them are the biggest, and neither one of them are the fastest. But they'll route your ass up, and they can go up and get it on you. So
and Nuke ain't dropping the ball. Let's be honest.
No,
that
motherfucker went a whole season without dropping a ball. That shit don't even. I don't know when that's ever. I don't know when it or if that has happened before. But
Larry
when I saw that
stat, probably the only other player.
Larry,
that's what I'm saying.
More drops more tackles than drops.
Yeah.
No, well, he didn't have. He had a whole season where he did not drop a pass. Like, that's crazy.
He said, "Why you hating? That's my job." All right, I got a couple more of these, or we can go into the bouquet and wrap it up.
Keep running.
I like it. Yeah,
keep running these. I keep running these. I like it. The next one we just did receivers, so we got another quarterback one, and I actually want to talk about Justin Fields. I want to talk Justin Fields. And I want you out there. Yeah, and again, all of these we're projecting into the next season, which will matter for the last guy a lot. So the first one I want to talk about is Justin Fields or Mac Jones.
I'm going to take Justin Fields.
Sorry.
I don't know if the Bears system will be good enough, but Justin.
Because Mac ain't got it's not Mac's fault that those weapons are like that. And I don't see New England going to go acquire no weapons. It's not because Mac's bad, but if you look at Justin Fields, they got him something. He's more athletic. They're going to help fix the line. They got a ton of cap next year, don't they? I just don't see Mac getting lucky.
I'm not even going to let you get that comment off, Eric. Anybody? So what about Cliff and T.O.? Because T.O. was weirdly silent.
I'm gonna let T.O. go.
Nah, you go first. I'm undecided. I'm undecided.
I mean, after you said for the rest of this season,
project into next season.
Yes, I agree. The Bears' offense is a question mark, so I don't really know how to portray that. But when you in New England and you bench him and go to somebody else, like that's a little bit of like a red flag for me. Do I think that Max is still the quarterback there? Yeah, but the way Justin Fields is kind of coming along, I probably gonna go with Justin Fields.
This man,
I think the only reason they benched Mac was they said going into it that he wasn't going to play the whole game anyway. That's what they said. He wasn't going to play the whole game anyway. But
yo, if the Jets did start selling and Zach Wilson did start throwing 100 picks, I swear, Beck was about to get his ass out again. The writing was on the wall. They called back one of his picks on some BS roughing. He got lucky on that.
It was a roughing though.
All right, whatever, bro. It's cool. And then from there, Zach Wilson just unraveled the game, so it didn't matter.
Like what we got?
Yeah, he's not a guy. Zach Wilson's not it.
All right, let's say Justin Fields or Trey Lance.
Justin Fields.
I'm trusting the comeback next year. That nigga's gonna have. I mean, yeah, he hasn't had much football experience, but you gonna put that motherfucker out there with that much talent?
I'm
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, that RPO, that option shit gonna look crazy with Shanahan next year.
I'm taking Justin Fields. Trey Lance played like 6 games at North Dakota State or whatever. I've seen Justin Fields ball out on the biggest stages throughout his career. So I just think for more football and like Trey, they're gonna have to decide whether or not to extend Trey Lance after seeing him play like 3 games in his first 2 years of football. It's gonna be weird. So I'm gonna say Justin Fields because he has the spot guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Justin Fields as well. Trey Lance to me is still a big question mark. Like when we did see him, he ain't really look that good. So it's still a big question mark for me. So I gotta go Justin Fields. The way it's looking now, it's looking like y'all are actually trying to play more to his strengths as well. And then we all know his mobility is, ungodly. So
yeah, I agree. It's Fields. I think Trey will have more around him. I'm talking coordinator, weapons, offensive line, but when it comes down to the quarterback, and especially Trey playing 3 games and then out for the rest of the year, and we ain't seen a really good Trey yet. Like we haven't seen it. Like we just haven't seen it, and we don't have a lot of games to go based off, but we haven't seen it in any of them. So it's kind of hard to say he's going to come back from an injury like that and show us that either. So I got to go with Justin.
All right, last guy, Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence, all right, you know how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lawrence based on him having Doug Peterson.
And
their offense and weapons. They've been honestly their offense
that boy
is looking pretty
Ridley ungodly when it comes to them routes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the Ridley deal, I'm like, I wish we would have given that for Ridley. Like honestly,
he gonna be reinstated too. That's the thing. Like for a team that's not making a playoff run this year, and you didn't call to get that motherfucker. Granted, you gotta pay him.
But that's not what it's about. It's about all the other like scaling in the deal, right? If he gets reinstated, they give him a 6th, right? And that 6th can become a 5th if he gets reinstated by a certain date. From there, it's like if he makes the team, so if he comes up out of shape and isn't right, they have to give no more picks. If he makes the team, it's a 4th round pick. If he gets a bunch of minutes and plays really well and he's who he's supposed to be, it's a 3rd round pick. But if he re-signs a long-term deal, which means both sides can get something they like, it becomes a 2nd. So, like, if Jacksonville ends up giving a 2nd, they just fleeced because they got a long-term deal on Calvin Ridley, who would have to be playing crazy.
That nigga should have went because in all reality, if he play this year and don't have that gambling thing, niggas easily a two 1st-round picks and a 4th probably type receiver.
Nah.
No.
What?
A 1st, maybe a 1st and a 4th, or a 1st, because like Cheetah only went for 1 first. Same market. Cheetah only went for 1 first.
And don't act like they didn't stack all them picks on the back end. Like he didn't have 7 picks damn near attached.
All them picks ain't worth the 1st round pick. That's all I'm saying.
That nigga Calvin Ridley is that motherfucking dude. Like, you know how people talk about Justin Jefferson? Them 2 niggas are similar, bro. And it might I think the difference is Justin just boomed right away, obviously, which is a major thing to do. That's obvious. But I'm saying when you look at how they play with the routes, I think Justin has better hands. But if you look at how they run routes, getting behind, like on the back end of people, because Calvin's, I think he's slightly faster, but like how they get behind the defense and shit, man, it's similar. That's all.
All right. Speaking of wide receivers, we'll do our last wide receiver, and we're going to talk about AJ Brown.
Good God.
Yeah, you like that, right? All right, so we'll start off with AJ Brown or Jalen Waddle.
AJ. I'm gonna take AJ, but that's tough, bitch.
I'm gonna take.
It's supposed to be tough.
I'm gonna take Jalen Waddle. The speed is just too crazy.
Yeah, I mean the speed is unmatchable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take AJ because man, he got everything: size, he's physical,
pretty fast,
speed, route runners. I mean, he do everything. So I mean,
remember I said Micah looked like a great safety, and these last 3 weeks, Micah been getting his shit cooked.
Boy, you hear me?
Yeah, I'll take AJ. He just is more physical, but this he not as fast, nowhere near as fast, but he's a physical and can go up and get it on you. And he's the clear number one out there in Philly.
And for how big he is, he runs pretty solid routes. Like they're not like great, but Jalen Waddle ain't great neither. You know what I mean?
But he like a running back
after
he catch the ball. Like one person might not bring him down.
Waddle's so quick though, quick in and out of his breaks that his routes are better. I don't think AJ Brown's as fast as good of a route runner in my opinion.
Because when he breaks off the route and that first catch, like off the break, he's getting so much separation, like Cliff said, just because off the speed alone. Like granted, AJ knocking niggas over regardless.
He's a physical specimen out there.
Okay, they fan question for this one. We got AJ Brown or D Hop.
What kind of dumbass question is this? New?
This is a question because the age difference. The age difference. I think he's asking because of the age difference.
That's not a bad question.
If you had to pick one, you could trade for both. First round pick for either. They're on the market and you're building a team. You take AJ or D Hop.
If you're building for the future, I think it's
obvious. Right now it's AJ. Yeah.
But if you're saying like I can only get one for a season, I'd go new.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're pushing for playoffs or a Super Bowl and you trade with D Hop, for sure.
But if you're saying, hey, going forward, I get to keep AJ because Nuke at some point, I mean, he's ungodly, but at some point at 30, like it's gonna start tailing off. It ain't right now, but it's gonna.
He might still be the best receiver in the league. I mean, we've only seen a small sample size, but he's looked crazy.
He came hot.
Yeah, he looked really
good. All right, let's go. AJ Brown or DK Metcalf.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Metcalf dropping a fucking ball, don't run good routes.
Yeah,
it's bogus, bro. And he's so crazy too.
He should be. We should be saying DK.
I know 2 years ago it would have been DK Metcalf so easy, but
it's just AJ.
I just feel like he's falling off a little bit.
The crazy shit is though, 2 years ago we were still having the same conversation about this motherfucker dropping balls and his routes not being good.
He just ain't mature. He just ain't there yet. He just not there. He's still. I think he's still pretty immature.
Fake fade he did though to clear for Kenneth Walker.
I mean, that's just. But receivers do that shit all the time though. You could that's easy. That's just running the receiver off and then that's just funny shit. I think he's still really immature. Like, Tio, I mean, we played receiver. You could literally do that shit. Like. Bro, you literally run somebody off and be like, they're going
because you don't want to
block.
They
don't know the ball. They don't know. They don't know. You know,
you don't want to block them.
Yeah, it's a run off.
That corner that caught that bullshit because he was face guarding him, bro. Like he literally was only looking at DK. You could have looked up once and knew the ball wasn't fucking there, bro.
Okay, I ask y'all another one. AJ Brown or Terry McLaurin?
Terry. Sorry.
I'm gonna say AJ.
Oh yeah, I'm going AJ. I got you.
Really? Have y'all seen Scary Terry's highlights?
Yes,
with no quarterbacks? Man, hey, bitch. I don't know what I would have to do to get Scary to Baltimore. But damn it, I would be trying.
That's a tough one.
Bro, that man Scary.
It is tough, but
Scary's faster, better hands, better routes.
Hey,
hasn't had a quarterback.
The way he just mossed Stephon Gilmore this weekend, boy, I was like, God.
Y'all saw that catch he had last year where the ball dropped between those two Chargers corners and he just caught it. And remember, like the camera thought like the ball dropped or something. He caught him two of them, bro. Them announcers lost their shit. I'm taking scary, dog.
Yo, Eric said this is wild that you take it scary. He said you need to get a ball here on you, bro.
The thing about that,
the thing though, when you can look at receivers and measure like how they run routes, how they catch the ball and shit like that. I'm telling you right now, that nigga run better routes than AJ Brown.
I agree with that, and I think that I've
And
seen Terry make more big plays, like
Impact
bag somebody, but you'll see AJ Brown like take a slant to the crib or like just be physical, like. But as far as like playmaking ability, I like Terry a lot. As far as like just a solid receiver, I like AJ. So I really don't know which way to go with this one, to be honest.
I think it's just I don't mean to cut you off, Cliff. I think
there you
go. AJ, I don't even think he's much more physical than Terry. I think he's just bigger than Terry.
Yeah.
You watch Terry, bro. There's no bitch in that man. He be blocking. He gets active in the intermediate routes. He runs slants. He can take a slant to the crib. And I want like AJ fast too for how big he is, but I know Terry faster than that boy.
Eric said, who needs a better route when you catching balls over two dudes and pointing at them like you ain't shit?
This motherfucker act like Scary don't be doing that. Like I just talked about the catch Terry made over two corners. Like,
yeah, they both are, and they're both young. It's like it's pretty tough for both of them.
Yeah, that's a tough decision.
I try to keep them all young on purpose.
Yeah.
All of them are from the same class. DK, AJ,
that fucking class is ridiculous.
I did that with the quarterbacks too.
Best motherfucker.
Wasn't Debo in that jump? Wasn't Debo in the?
Yeah, Debo was in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Hold on, Justin.
Deontay Johnson too.
No, Justin wasn't in that. It was Debo, AJ, DK,
Marquise
Terry.
Brown,
Deontay Johnson.
And we drafted N'Keal Harry, bitch ass.
Hey, he got in the box. He got in the box against our defense.
Yo, hey, all right. So let's go. Speaking of Debo Samuels, you taking AJ Brown or Debo Samuels?
Debo.
The
versatility of the run and the pass game.
Am I just using Debo as a receiver?
No,
wait, because he's
it's the player. But you also assume that you could use AJ Brown in the same fashion if you want, like you could attempt it if you wanted to. That's what I'll say.
I'm gonna go Debo because we've seen
there's
what he does. We've seen it.
With Debo in the backfield with the ball in his hands, like right away. It's AJ, but it's I think it's better than what AJ does. But AJ is a better pure receiver. Like if you said receiver, I'm taking AJ. But if you said I'm taking the full package of Debo, bro, Debo in the backfield.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay. Last one, going back to the NFC East, AJ Brown or CD Lamb?
AJ Brown, what kind of shit is this?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's Cliff gonna say?
I hope he gonna say
sadly but surely, AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Hey, what's Cliff gonna say?
Boy,
don't speak for Cliff. Let Cliff speak for himself.
It's AJ Brown. I'm gonna be my man CD got to show me a little more, man. He got to be more consistent with you gotta
catch the fucking ball, dog.
Yeah, just dropping the ball, yeah.
He just got to be more consistent. Catch the rock. We'll be all right.
Because they see him too. He get the ball. Like it ain't like he not getting the ball there.
Yeah, I know.
He just dropping it. That's yeah.
Okay, that's all I got for the no huddle this week. We can keep it moving and let Keith hit us up with the Ballers Bouquet.
You want to do the 5 fly?
Oh, I tweet. My bad, bro.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just checking.
No, I totally just tweet.
This for our sports gamblers. We've been doing pretty good the last couple weeks. We just had a 4-1 week, and I'm going to shoot myself a little bail because we recorded before it was announced Jamar Chase was going to be out, and knowing that and knowing it was a must-win game for the Browns with Deshaun Watson coming back in a few weeks, I don't know if I would have bet Bengals, but they ended up getting destroyed anyway. It wasn't even close. So the other 4 we did well on. The Ravens beat the Bucks, and we bet them to do the money line. And then the Patriots covered the spread. The Seahawks covered the spread against the Giants, and the Titans covered the spread. against the Texans. This week is pretty weird. I don't like a lot of the lines. So for the first two, I'm just betting on the first half. So for the first one, it's the Thursday night game. You got something crazy in the chat. What's going on?
No, it was weird. Like I was a little taken aback by the strategy here.
Oh yeah. So for this one, it will make sense. Okay. This one is the Eagles at the Texans. The line is -14. No one really wants to mess with a -14 line. I do think the Eagles probably will and could win by 2 touchdowns, but the first half spread is only -7, and the Eagles are 7-0 against the spread in the first half this season. So I think they'll beat the Texans by a touchdown in the first half. And I think that ultimately that's just the safer bet than trying to go for the full 14 on that game. So that's why I have the first half of that one. You like the 14 in that one?
I like the 14. I like it.
I mean, I don't dislike it. It's
defensively.
Yeah, it's just a big number. And Brandon Cooks may not play. Yeah, so.
Oh. Yeah, he is a little mad right now.
That's what I'm saying. I like the 14. I like the 14.
Yes.
How would you put how he's feeling right now?
He's going to hell.
Oh wow.
He is a little mad now. But for the second game, I'm also taking the first half spread. This is the Colts at the Patriots. I have the Patriots covering the spread at -2.5 in the first half. That's at -125. So it's basically like straight up bet 10, win 10, or like bet 10, win 8, I think is what it would be. But the Colts are 0-8 against the first half spread this season. They've lost 10 straight first half spreads going back to last year. I also like the under in this game. The line is at 39.5. The Colts are 7-1 for the under this year and 4-0 for the under on the road. And their last 7 road games have all been the under. So overall, the Colts, 12 out of their last 13 games have all hit the under, and Sam Ellinger is getting his second start against a team led by Bill Belichick. So I think it's going to be rough to start the game especially, and it may take some time to settle in. So that's why I'm taking the first half spread on that one. The third game I have is Dolphins -5 on the road against the Bears. I'm sorry, Anthony. This game opened up at Dolphins -3, and the line is moved to -5. This might normally be a reason to hesitate because the line is getting bigger, but in games where the line has moved towards Tua, he's won his last 8 starts, and he's 6-2 against the spread in those games. Justin Fields is 1-5 against the spread as a home underdog. And I like the Dolphins' moves this week, adding Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson, and I think they'll cover as road favorites. Obuli, do you have any objections on that one?
I ain't look. Anything's possible. That team is interesting because now they have Bradley Chubb. They actually might have a defense. But prior to this week, I was like, I mean, if we can get into a shootout, I like our chances. But we have no O-line, and they have Bradley Chubb. So I'm going to leave this one alone.
And y'all gave up y'all 2 best defenders.
Our best defender, the other guy was our best defender from the previous year, was not really balling this year. Robert Quinn was having a down year. But Roquan Smith was having an insanely good year. So it'll balance out. It'll balance out when you look at it like that.
This fourth game, I feel the weirdest about. I'm interested to get y'all's thoughts. I'm taking the Lions at -3.5 on the road. I'm taking the Packers on the road at -3.5 against the Lions.
Okay, I was really like, oh yeah.
I was worried for a second.
Yeah, me too.
After losing Hawkinson, I was like,
oh, you lost. Don't even worry about it.
A-Rod on a losing streak. He's not about to lose to the Lions. He's not going to do it.
He might.
He's not going to do it. He on a losing streak. He don't
play defense.
I think Aaron Rodgers will win. The thing that gives me pause is the 3.5, because I could definitely see Green Bay winning this game by a field goal. But I agree with y'all, just like especially moving Hawkinson, it seems like the Lions are not like moving in the direction of trying to win a ton of games. And we've seen with Dan Campbell and just like what they're building over there that they do fight in these games. So a line of like 3 versus 3.5 does give me some pause with the Lions. And both of these teams are just coming in off losing streaks. Green Bay's dropped 4 in a row. The Lions have dropped 5 in a row. The Lions are one of the worst defenses in the league, though. They allow over 30 points per game, and Rodgers in his career is 15-2 against opponents who average over 30 points per game. The Lions offense has slowed down a lot from where they were at the beginning of the year, even though they're home and have looked like a different offense at home. I like this as a game where Rodgers takes control and is able to somewhat stop the bleeding on this Packers skid. I don't think will be enough to completely turn around their season, but I don't see them losing to the Lions. So I think this is one that I feel kind of okay with, but that 3.5, I would feel a lot better if it were 3 or 2.5. What do y'all think?
That half point is always feels like a scam when it gets you. You know what I mean? The half point always feels like a scam when it gets you. Like,
yeah. So hoping if Green Bay wins this game by 3, it's going to hurt. But I'm just going to have faith that Aaron Rodgers can beat this pretty bad team by more than that. And then the last game I'm taking the Chargers -3 on the road as favorites against the Falcons. Atlanta started 6-0 against the spread this year. They're 0-2 since then, coming off a very weird win in overtime against the Panthers that we talked about earlier. If the Panthers had made an extra point or a chip field goal, they would have been able to win that game. The Chargers are kind of underwhelming, definitely underwhelming from what we thought they were going to be coming into the year, especially as a defense. So this one also gives me some hesitance, but the Chargers are 3-0 against the spread on the road this season. They're coming off their bye week, but both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen at this point are expected to miss. Mike Williams definitely is going to miss. Keenan Allen had a setback today with his hamstring injury and expressed frustration from that setback. So that's one thing that gives me some hesitance as well. But I just think that with Austin Eckler, Gerald Everett, and Justin Herbert throwing to really whoever, whether it's Joshua Palmer, DeAndre Carter, they do have enough weapons to compete. And I think this is going to be a running back heavy game. The Falcons are one of the most run heavy teams in the league. And Austin Eckler is one of the most heavily used running backs, not just out of the backfield rushing, but also, like Cliff said earlier, in the pass game. So I think Eckler and the Atlanta backs will all have big games, but this is also a game where I really like the over. Both of these defenses allow over 24 points per game. Right now, the line is sitting at 49.5. So the chances that there are over 50 points scored in this game are pretty high, and both of these defenses give up a lot of points. I think this has the potential to be a shootout, which is why I think it could get a little bit weird. And the Falcons seem to now realize that Kyle Pitts is on their team. But I still think the Chargers are a little bit of a better team, even though they're definitely entering slight fraud territory from where I thought they were going to be in the start of the season. But that's the 5 fly. Like I say every week, if it doesn't go well, my bad. You should probably do research yourself, but it's been going well, so maybe you should listen.
Sam speaking knowledge, though, no hate, which I'm shocked to see.
No hate from Eric.
Yeah, but he does think he can take the points versus the Chargers for the Atlanta guys. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. All right, so we got Keith with the Ballers Bouquet.
Yes, sir. Big shout out to the Ertz Family Foundation, started by Zach Ertz and his wife. Obviously, people know who Zach Ertz is, but his wife is an Olympic soccer player, I'm pretty sure. She's a dog.
Yeah, athlete.
Athlete. My bad. They are both athletes. They have, I think, 2 kids together, but they have a foundation. They started dating back in college. They're driven in their face and success as athletes, and they want to launch something to better the world for everybody. So what they've done lately, they provided 500,000 meals to fight hunger in Arizona. That's a big move. They pull up to different foundations. They had a foundation meeting or like gathering at the Fishtown Card Show. They do an annual thing in December back in Philly. So I know Zach Ertz doesn't get a lot of praise in the tight end realm, which is kind of weird because he is like that at tight end. I think it's just like the injuries and the systems he's kind of in. He just didn't get the massive shine as some other dudes, but he is like that on the field, and him and his wife are both. Well, his wife is like that on the field too. So they're both like that on the field, off the field. It's super dope to see. You know, got to give them flowers.
All right. All right, that's it for episode 91 of the Fly Route.
We got to say big condolences to Takeoff and his family. Can't let that go without saying.
All right, facts. Big facts. All right, that is it for episode 91 of the Fly Route Podcast. We appreciate everybody for popping through, and we can't wait to get back to y'all again next Wednesday.
The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod.